Good afternoon. In honor of my beautiful wife, I just want to first briefly mention that I got married exactly a week ago. Yeah. I say that because she's beautiful, but also because I was pretty sure it would get easy applause. And I am a sucker for applause. My mom says that's because I was born to be on stage. I think she only thinks that because I used to strut around the house like this. I like this picture of me because it shows me being goofy, but it also shows me in my school uniform. And today I want to talk about students and schools. And I think it's a great picture to start. And I want to talk about the way we think about those two things. And when it comes to thinking, I like the way Dr. Seuss said it. He said, think left and think right, think low and think high. Oh, the thinks you can think up if you only try. And since Dr. Seuss is a favorite thinker of mine, I'd like to honor him for the rest of our time by speaking to you only in rhyme. Let's try. See, I'm happy to be with you starting this first session, and since I was a teacher, I'd like to start with a lesson. Don't worry, it's not a tested subject, it won't be on the examination, but I do want to talk about this thing we call education. October 1st, 1908, it's a date in American history. Ford Motor Company presents the Model T. The first car cheap enough that every American can test. Students sit in classrooms with pencils at desks. July 21st, 1969, 2:56 a.m. Universal Time. Neil Armstrong steps foot upon the moon. American technology and ingenuity are at the world's best. Students sit in classrooms with pencils at desks. December 25th, 1990, Christmas, and the internet's first build is a success. The future is upon us. Let's lay old habits to rest. Students sit in classrooms with pencils at desks. We've had more than just change in the last 100 years. Hopes and fears realized in technological innovation, from wars fought in trenches to wars with unmanned aviation, but frozen in time seem the halls of education. I could put you in a classroom, send you back in the day, in a time machine 100 years ago, or in the modern age. You could step into that classroom and see not much has changed. Same pencils, still desks, still an inflexible school day. Now don't get it twisted, y'all. I ain't hating on pencils. When I put mine to page, I unleash the inner temple. And don't get it twisted, I'm not hating on desks, but are these the two best tools we should be using to assess? Typewriters change the way we write. Computers change the way we type. Phones change the way we talk, but few changes take place in the place where things are taught. Society can't understand a teacher's frustration. You see, we've treated schools like gun legislation, made tiny changes and prayed for major results, and then pointed our fingers at the victims and told them it was their fault. And there's no sense in blaming. We're all reaping what we've sown. We've got graduation rates through the roof and college readiness barely grown. I've taught at schools with crumbling walls, and I've taught in schools just a few years old. And they've all been hell-bent on just sticking the kids in rows. We got generations of kids staring at the back of each other's heads, and we wonder why it's hard for them to look you in the eye and shake your hand instead. I've taught in schools that locked all their books away, and I've taught in schools that thought iPads were some sort of educational miracle gateway and tried to solve every problem by just throwing technology their way, but still teaching in old ways and allowing behavior and curriculum to stay. So what if we design a new educational reality? What if we turn classrooms into modern sanctuaries? I hear people say, we can't change school. It's just no good. But I don't believe that. I say, what if we could? What if we, instead of building buildings, built ships? Friendships, relationships. Hell, a real wooden ship. Put the kids in the boat and had an adventure, y'all. You can't learn everything about life while sitting inside four walls. Because if you want to change education, you got to go somewhere. You got to get on a plane, get on a train, get in your brain, use your imagination, and go somewhere. It's not a lesson, it's an adventure. What if instead of sitting at the desk, we danced on top of it? What if we build kids up with courage so that they could hop off of it? What if we threw out the desk and taught class on the floor? What if trips and experiences mattered more than scores? What if teachers felt safe to fail when they try something unique? What if learning didn't have to stop so we could test for a whole week? What if? Because if you want to change education, let me tell you, you got to treat teachers like rock stars. Like rock stars. I'm not talking higher paychecks and premium parking spots. I mean, I am talking those things, but I'm also talking like front page of the newspaper, like open bar at the Christmas party rock stars. So what if we changed schools and what they look like? What if we changed how they feel? Because we got to take this tired and turn it into inspired and see what it yields. What if we design creativity, because our kids deserve more than us sitting around and designing test scores? What if we gave students real work, not just worksheets? And I'm not talking about making them calculate vertical leaps, because you know those kids, they're big basketball fans. I'm talking send the kids out into the field to collect economic data and have them overlay it with water quality maps from across the city and start asking big questions like, why are some neighborhoods more toxic than others? I'm talking about making kids write screenplays and then run their own film festival. I'm talking about giving kids a shot at curing cancer, because who knows what problem we can't solve that is just waiting to be graced by the genius that is a child's mind. I'm talking give kids a position in the company store. The company. It's not a lesson, it's a mission. You see, the world is moving faster. It's changing every day, but our schools still treat kids in the exact same way. How can transportation go from cars to planes to spaceships in less than 60 years, but we still got kids sitting in a desk 80% of the year? I think it says something about our nation when we've made 1,000 times more advancements in war than we have in education. The factories have closed. We're still teaching in old ways. Assembly line days. And it's not just on teachers. Let me leave the script behind for a minute. And you know what? I'll try to keep it in rhyme. We'll see if you guys can get it. This is not just educators. This is our entire situation. If your company is not worried about the state of education, then I guess you're not hoping to be around to hire the next generation. It's not just Texas, it's not just California, this is every American state. I've met CEOs who are scared to death about the quality of their candidates. But we can do this, people. We can do it faster than we are. We can make education an industry that's racing for the stars. We can use the natural creativity that's in a child's mind to make the world a better place. There's no limit to what a child can do to help this human race. Because the answer to every problem that we have ever been in will be sitting in a classroom Monday morning at 8 a.m. So let's help these kids shape the future, not make them sit and watch it progress. You can't change the world if you're only sitting in a desk. Thank you, guys.